Okay, as today types of system unit 9 हा पार्ट आपण याच्या नेक्स्ट ला पाहत होता. Systems have been classified in different ways. Common classifications: first, physical or abstract, and second, open or closed, and third, man-made. हे 3 टाइप्स सिस्टीमचे त्या ठिकाणी आहे. त्यातला फर्स्ट आहे ते फिजिकल or abstract system. Physical system consists of tangible entities that are either static or dynamic in operations. For example, the physical parts of the computer center are the officer desks and chairs that facilitate operations of the computer. They can be seen and count. They are static. Next types आहे open or closed system. Open or closed system means another classifications of system is based on their degree of independence. An open system has many interface with its environment. It permits interactions across its boundary. It receives input from and delivers outputs to the outside. It contract. A closed system is isolated from environmental influence. In reality, a completely closed system is rare. Open or closed system त्या ठिकाणी प्रोसेस चालते की ओपन फीडबॅक सिस्टीम प्रोसेस इनपुट आणि आउटपुट होते. इनपुट प्रोसेस फीडबॅक होते आणि त्याच्यातून आउटपुट बाहेर पडते. नेक्स्ट आहे त्या ठिकाणी natural and man-made system. Natural and man-made system means systems that are made by man are called man-made system. Like the railway system, accounting system, transport system, telephone system, etc. On the other hand, systems that are in the environment made by natures and referred to as natural system, like ecosystem, solar system, etc. An information system designed and created by man to reduce uncertainty about informations and provide instructions, commands and feedback about the system is often referred to as man-made information system. Okay. जी सिस्टम त्या ठिकाणी मेड बाय मॅन असते इज कॉल्ड एज मॅन-मेड सिस्टम. हे 3 टाइप्स ऑफ सिस्टमचे आहेत. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है need for system analysis and design. Systems analysis and design is performed to understand the systematic flow of data, its transformations to deliver the need output in the context of a particular business. It begins by first identifying the system and defining its elements, objectives, and boundaries. It then understand the role and interrelationship between the various existing elements. Most first objective is analysis and designs as a series of process systematically undertaken to improve a business through the use of computerized information system. Second objective, a means to gather better understanding of the complex structures. Third, trade-off between the functional requirements of the subsystem and its interrelated subsystem. Next, help to understand and compare functional impact of the subsystems on the system as a whole. Helps to achieve compatibility and unity of purpose of the system and subsystem. Helps in discover means to design system with existing conflicting subsystem. Helps to segregate and the conflict of the subsystem and synchronize them to achieve the objectives. It is a very essential to analyze the given system and therefore the role of system analysis becomes very critical. तर ह्या सगळ्या नीड्स त्या ठिकाणी अनालिसिस अँड डिझाईनच्या आहेत. आणि नेक्स्ट पॉइंट आहे सिस्टीम अनालिस्ट अँड स्किल. सिस्टीम मधले काही जे स्किल्स आहेत ते आपण त्या ठिकाणी पाहणार आहोत. तर याच्यामधल्या the system analysis systematically axes how user interact with a technology and business functions by examining how the data is input and process and how the output of information is generated with the intent of improving organizational process. The skills can be broken down into 6 major characteristics. First is technical characteristics. Second, business, analytical, interpersonal, management, and skill. Technical skill is very important. Analysts must have the technical skill to understand the organization existing technical environment, the new systems technology foundations, and the way in which both can be fit into integrated technical solutions. Second, business skills are required to understand how IT can be applied to business situations and to ensure that the IT delivers real business value. Third, analysts are continuous problem solve at the both projects and organization level, and they put their analytical skills to the test regularly. Interpersonal Interpersonal often analysis need to communicate effectively one-on-one with users and business manager and with programmers. Thus, they need to impose strong interpersonal abilities. Management, so they must be adept in managing people with whom they work, and they must manage the pressure and risks associated with unclear situations. For ethical, last but not the least, they must deal fairly, honestly, and ethically with other projects, team members, managers, and system user. Analysts often deal with confidential informations or informations. It is important for analysis to maintain confidence, the trust with all people. Next, the system analysis functions and roles. The system analysis role focus on the IS issues surrounding the system. This person develops ideas and suggestions for ways that IT can support and improve business process. Helps designing new business process, supporting by IT, designing the new information system, and ensures that all IS standards are maintained. The system analysis will have a significant training and experience in analysis and designing and programming. The basic functions of a system analysis are: first one is to study problem and needs of an organization. Second, to determine best approach in improving organization, the use of third people. Fourth, methods. Fifth, information technology. Next, to help system users and managers define their requirements for new or enhanced systems. To access options for system integration, in-house development, outsource outsource development and operations, commercial applications to help in various in-house projects and work on team of analysis and developers. More specify his verified role can be start first. He helps to identify the business value that the system will create, developers ideas for improving the business process, and helps designing new business process and policies. His roles also focus on leading the requirements from the stakeholders associated with the new system. He is required to understand the business well, but he be excellent communicator and need to be highly skilled in an array of requirements in situations techniques. Its technical role focus or surrounding the ways the system will interact with the organization's technical infrastructures, hardware, software, network, and database. He needs to ensure that the new information system conform to organizational standards that helps to identify infrastructure change that will be needed to support the system. Next, over time, he may assume the role of software artist who takes holds this view of the organization's entire IT environment and guides application design decisions with that context. His role as a change management focused on the people and management issues surrounding the system installations and ensures that equivalent documentations and support are available to users, provider user training on the new system that develop system strategies to overcome risks to change. Next, his role as a project manager ensures that the project is completed on time and within budgets and that the system delivers the expected value to the organizations. Next point, system development life cycle, SDLC. With the expansions of IT driven applications in business, a better management of data processing was required that including formal methodologies and that was commonly referred to as a system development life cycle. The objective of these methodologies was to document and establish to the best practice of system development. SDLC is a logical sequence of activities that is used in identifications of a new system needs and in development of new system, thereby reducing risks, though effective planning, executive control, and documentations of the activities. There are two main approaches to SDLC. A predictive approach assumes projects can be planned out in advance. The next adaptive approach, more flexible, assumes projects cannot be planned out in advance. All projects use some variations of SDLC, uh, predicative SDLC and adaptive SDLC. Predicative SDLC requirement defined raw risks, low risks आणि adaptive मध्ये requirement uncertain high risks. प्रेडिकेटिव्ह मध्ये लो रिस्क असते आणि adaptive मध्ये हाय रिस्क त्या ठिकाणी असते. The predictive approach to the SDLC means the approach divides the life cycle into phase as it strongly believes that in every projects that exit activities associated with the projects, intentions, planning, analysis, designing, implementations, and maintenance. The objective of each of the 6 phases. First phase is definitions, second feasibility study, third system analysis, system designing, implementations, and maintenance. Definitions means definition मध्ये activities to the gate project identify approve and budgets हे फर्स्ट स्टेप मध्ये येतं. सेकंड फेज मध्ये येतं feasibility study मध्ये activities to scope the projects, plan and schedule the works and identify the required resource. Third, system analysis activities to understand the user requirements. System design मध्ये activities to define and structure the solution system. And for the implementations for the programming activities and other activities to build the solution and database, and for maintenance post implementations. The SDLC that is the most predictive is called the waterfall model or linear sequential life cycle model. It primarily assumes the various phases of a project can be complemented in a linear and sequential manner, with one phase falling into the next phase without going back. If requirements change or are added afterwards, one needs to start over from the beginning. Okay. Next, हे चालतं त्या ठिकाणी वॉटरफॉल मॉडेल ऑफ SDLC. Requirements, next design, implementations, verifications, and maintenance. The steps, 6 phase त्या ठिकाणी आहे. Next, adaptive approach to the SDLC. It context to the predictive SDLC. The adaptive SDLC assumes project activities have to be adjusted as the project progress. This is a necessary except as it is not possible to understand all the requirements of the projects right at the beginning. And early versions of an adaptive SDLC is called the spiral model, which cycle over and over its very various phase throughout development activities in corresponding adjustment wherever required until the project is completed. Critical requirements are defined at the beginning of the development process, which forms the first spiral. Subsequent spirals are included in order to add further functionality to this baseline spiral. Requirements gathering is performed in the planning phase. Further is it has added another phase called risk analysis phase that identifies alternative course of actions with their relative risks. Next approaches is this approach is normally with prototyping that aims of performing all 3 phase analysis, designing, and implementations repeatedly in a cycle until the system is completely. It aims at working on a system prototype, quick and dirty program that provides a minimal amount of features. Next, prototype lives याच्यामध्ये analysis problem, develop prototype, operationalize a prototype, refine prototype, and complete system. Sorry. Next, another approach is the parallel model. The atoms to address the problem of long delays between the analysis phase and the delivery of the system. Instead of doing the designing and implementations in sequence, it performs a general design for the whole system and then divides the projects into series of distinct sub-projects that can be designed and implemented in parallel. Once all sub-projects are complete, the final integrations on the separate piece in deliver. This approach helps to reduce the schedule time required to deliver a system. There is less chance of change in the business environment causing rework. However, this approach suffers from same problem caused by paper documentations as earlier approaches. System analysis is a study of the various operations performed by a system and the relationship within and outside of the system. During analysis, data are collected on the available files, decisions points, and transactions handling by the present system. Once a business analysis taken detail look at how an organization performs its works and its process, the analysis can recommend ways to improve this process to make them more efficient and effective. An organization face two primary choice when deciding to develop an information system. First is it can buy the information system from a vendor, or next it can build the system itself. Next, preliminary analysis. The preliminary analysis, the main objective of preliminary analysis is to identify the customer needs, unit system concept of feasibility, perform economics and technical analysis, perform cost benefit analysis, or create system definitions that forms the foundations for all subsequent engineering works. After the preliminary analysis, the analysis should report the findings, the managements with the recommendations outlining the acceptance or rejections of the proposal. Um, Next, problem definitions means all information gathering during the identification period is recorded in system concept document. It is also called in problem definitions space that usually contains the definitions of the problems of the statement, followed by a series of objectives or goals or to match the start problem. Feasibility study. Flexibility study means problem definition is followed by understand the requirements, the things that the need to the equipment along with the possible solutions and the constraints that limit the development of the system. Constraints often include the words not indicating limitations and may also contain restrictions due to budgets or time. Finally, output of this stage is terms of reference or a flexibility study. A flexibility study is a test of a system proposal according to its workability, its impact on the organizations, its ability to meet user needs, and the effective use of resource. It focus on three major questions. First is what are the user demonstrable needs and how does a candidate system meet them? Second, what resources are available for given candidate system? It's the problem what solvable. Third, what is the likely impact of the candidate system on the organization? How well does it fit within the organization master MIS plan? Next point, technical flexibility. This report identifies the current technical resource of the organizations and the technical requirements of the system. Then it is required to find answer to some of these questions. First, can the current technical resource be upgraded or added to in a manner that fulfills the request under considerations? What is the cost involved in doing so? And third, if existing system cannot be added on to the next questions become whether there is a technology in existence that meets the specifications. Next, economics flexibility. Economics flexibility is another way of resource determination. These basic resource to consider are first one, cost. Doing a full system study Next, cost of the business employees time, and third, the estimated cost of hardware, and fourth, estimated cost of software or software development. Operational flexibility, it is defined on the human resource available for the projects and universe projecting whether the system will operate and be used once it's installed. If user are virtual when to the present system, see no problem with it. The generally are not involved in request a new system. Restrictions to implementing the new system will be strong changes for its ever becoming operational are long. First, cost and benefit categories. In performing CBA, it is important to identify cost and benefit factors. First, cost means cost. There are several or cost factors elements. There are hardware, personal facilities, operating, and supply cost. In a board, since the cost can be divided into two types. First is development cost that are incurred during the development of the system, for example, wage, equipment, etc. Next type, operating cost are requiring cost, for example, wage, supplies, overheads, and other classifications of the cost can be. Uh, First, hardware software cost, personal cost, facility cost, operation cost, and last one, supply cost. Benefits can define benefit is profit or benefit equal income minus cost. Benefit can be acquired by increasing income, decreasing cost, or both. The system will provide some benefits also. Benefits can be tangibly on intangible, direct or indirect. In cost benefit analysis, the first task is to identify each benefit and assigning a monetary value to it. The two main their benefits are improved performance and minimize processing costs. Further costs and benefits can be categorized as versus tangible or intangible cost and benefits. Tangible costs and benefits can be measure hardware cost, salaries for professional software costs are all tangible costs. They are identified and measures the mm, purchase of the hardware or software, personal training and employees' salaries, and are example or tangible cost whose value cannot be measures are referred to intangible cost. Benefit are also tangible or intangible. For example, more customers satisfactions, improve companies status, are etc. Are all intangible benefits, whereas improve response time, processing air, free output, such as next direct or indirect cost and benefit, and in last fixed and variable cost and benefits. Flexibility reports means the result of the flexibility study is a feasibility report. This is simply a report of formal documents detailing the natures and scope of the proposed solutions. The proposal summarizes what is known and what is doing to be done. It consists of the following. First is statement of the problem. Second, summary of finding and recommendations. Third, details of finding. And next, recommendations and conclusions. Conclusions means specify recommendations regarding the candidate system, including personal assessment, cost, project schedules, and target dates. Next, fact finding. Fact finding is a important activity in system analysis. In this stage, the functioning of the system is to be understood by the system analysis to designing the proposed system. Various methods are used for this, and these are known as a fact finding techniques. The analysis needs to full understand to current system. The analysis needs data about the requirements and demands of the projects undertaken, and the techniques employed to gather this data are known as fact finding techniques. Next, interviews. Interviews is a very important data gathering techniques, as in this the analysis directly contract system and the professional user of the proposed system. The advantage of the interviews is that the analysis has a free hand, and he can exact almost all the informations from the concept for people, but then as it is a very time consuming method. We should also employ other means such as questionnaires, record reviews, etc. The following guides can be very beneficial for a successful interview. First is set the stage for the interview. Next, establish rapport. Put the interviews at ease. Third, face questions clearly and seamlessly. Be a good listener. Avoid agreements, evaluations, the outcome of the interview. Questionnaires. Next point. Questionnaires. Questionnaires are another way of information gathering where the potential users of the system are given questionnaires to be filled up the return to the analysis. Questionnaires are useful when the analysis need to gather information from a large number of people. It is not possible to interview each individual. Also, if the time is very short in that case, also questionnaires are useful. The analysis should sensibly designing and frame questionnaires with clarity of its object, so as to adjust the cost incurred on their development and distributions. Third, record reviews. Records reviews are the collections of informations and data accumulated over the time by the users about the system and its operations. This can also put light on the requirements of the system and the modifications it has undergone. Records and reports may have limitations if they are not up to date, or if some essential links are missing. All the change which the system suffers may not be recorded. The analysis may scrutinize the records at the beginning of this study, which may give him fair instructions about the system and will make him familiar with it, or in the end which will provide the analysis with a comparison between the exactly is or as desired from the system and its current working. Next, on-site observations. On-site observations are one of the most effective tools with the analysis, where the analysis personnel goes to the site and discovers the functioning of the system as and observe the analysis can gain first-hand knowledge of the activities, operations process of the system on site. Hence, here, the role of an analysis is of an information seeker. This information is very meaningful as it's unbased and has been directly taken by the analyst. Next, modern methods for determining system requirements. Even though we call interviews, questionnaires, observations, and documents analysis traditional method for determining a system requirements, all of these methods are still used by analysis to collect important information today. However, additional techniques are available to collect information about the current system. The organization's area requesting the new system and what the new system should be like. In these sections you learn about two modern information gathering techniques for analysis: joint application design and prototyping. These techniques can support effective information collections and structuring while reducing the amount of time required for analysis. Joint applications design. In the late 1970s, system development personnel at IBM developed a new process for collecting information system requirements and reviewing system designing. The process is called joint application design. Next, rapid applications development. Rapid application development is a team-based technique that speeds up information system development and process functioning information system like JAD, RAD use a group approach but goes much further. While the end product of the JAD is a requirements model, the end product of RAD is the new information system. Next, angle methodologies. Angle methods attempt to develop a system incrementally by building a series of prototypes and constantly adjusting them to user requirements. As the Angular process continues, developers revise, extend, and merge versions into the final product. And Angular approach implements continuous feedback, and each incremental step is affected by what was the learned in the previous steps. In structuring system requirements, after a hug amount of information is gathering during requirements determinations, the analysis team begins the process of structuring requirements. Is organizes the information meaningful representations of the information system. Next, functional decompositions diagrams. A functional compositions diagram is top-down representations of the functions of process. Using an FDD at analysis can show business functions and breaks them down into lower level functions and process. Getting an FDD is a similar to drawing an organization chart. Data flows diagrams. Data flows diagrams is used to describe the logical operations of a system, or what a system does. A DFD shows the flow of data, the system, and the work of processing performed by that system. And next, DFD, that are four symbols. First is a sphere defines the source or destination of system data. An arrow identifies data flow, data in motions. It is a pipeline though which information flows. Third, a circular or a bubble. Some people use or oval bubble represent a process that transforms incoming data flow into outgoing data flows. And next, an open rectangle is a data store data at rest or temporary repository or data. Several rules of thumb are used in drawing DFDS. First process should be name and number for easy reference. Each name should be representative of the process. And second, the directions of flow is from top to bottom and from left to the right. Data traditionally flows from the source to the destinations, although they may flow back to a source. One way to indicate this is to draw a long flow line back to the source. Uh, when a process is exported into lower level details, they are number. And second, the names of data stores, source, and are written in capital letters. Process and data flow names have the first letter of each words capitalized. A DFT typical the minimum typical shows the minimum content of data stores. Each data store should certain all the data elements that flow in and out of questionnaires can be used to provide informations for a first cut. All descriptions, missing interface, runs, and the like are then accounting for the often low interviews. Next, a data dictionary. In data flows diagrams, names are given to data flows, process, and data stores, although the names are descriptive of the data. They do not give details. A data dictionary is a structure responsibility of data. It is a set of rigorous definitions of all DFT data elements and data structures. A data dictionary has many advantages. The most obvious is documentation. It is a valuable reference in any organizations. Another advantage is improving analysis or user communications by establishing consist definitions or various elements, terms, and procedures during implementations. It's as a common base against which programs who are working on the system compare their data descriptions. Next, decision tables. Decision tables is a logical structure is show every combinations of conditions and outcomes. Analysis often use the decision tables of to describe a process and ensure that they considers all possible situations. Decision steps often are the best way to describe a complex set of conditions. Decision next decision tree. Decision trees is a graphical representations of the conditions, actions, and rows found in a decision table. Decision trees show the logic structures in a horizontal form that resemble a tree with the roots at the left and the branches to the right. Like flowcharts, decision trees are useful ways to present the system to management. Decision trees and decision tables provided the same results but in different forms. In many situations, a graphic is the most effective means of communications. Use case diagrams during requirements modeling system. Analysts and users work together to documents requirements and model system functions. A use case diagram usually represents the interactions between users and the information system. In a use case diagram, the user becomes an actor with a specific role that describes how he or she interacts with the system. Next, pros and cons of each tool. Uh, Pros and cons of each tools following conclusions. The primary strength of the DFT it is ability to represent data flows. It may be used at high or low level of analysis and provides good system automatic documentations. However, the tools only weekly shows input and output details. The data dictionary helps the analysis simply the structures for meeting the data requirements of the system. It may be used at high or low levels of the analysis, but it does not provide functional details and it is not acceptable to many non-technical users. Structures English is best used when the problem requires sequence of actions with decisions. Decision trees are issued to verify logic and it problems that a few complex decisions resulting in limited numbers of actions. Decision trees and decision tables are best suited for details with complex ranking groups such as calculating discount or sales commissions or inventory control producers. In this chapter, main points is system designing, next system analysis, meaning physical system. Now, next system models. System models means helps to visualize system structures and operations without instantly trialing in mathematically represent to the system. Prototyping means refers to a symbol of a concept or process, and feasibility study means is a test of a system proposal according to its workability. Okay, this is main concept system design system analysis. In this chapter, ask the question is very important. First is the types of system. Two types needs for the system analysis. Next question, system analysis meaning feasibility reports, concept costs, benefits. Feasibility study means preliminary analysis is technical feasibilities. is very important. Okay. त्याच्यानंतर preliminary analysis feasibility study मध्ये टेक्निकल feasibility, इकॉनॉमिक्स feasibility, ऑपरेशन feasibility हे महत्वाचं. त्याच्यानंतर कॉस्ट अँड बेनिफिट कॅटेगरीज जे आहेत तर कॉस्ट बेनिफिट्स टू कन्सेप्ट लक्षात ठेवायच्या. त्याच्यामध्ये कॉस्ट आणि बेनिफिट्स, कॉस्टचे क्लासिफिकेशन केलं. कॉस्ट कशाची, हार्डवेअर सॉफ्टवेअर कॉस्ट, पर्सनल कॉस्ट, फॅसिलिटी कॉस्ट, त्याच्यानंतर ऑपरेशन कॉस्ट, सप्लाय कॉस्ट. आणि बेनिफिट्स मध्ये इन्क्रीजिंग इन्कम, डिस्क्रीजिंग कॉस्ट आणि इन्क्रीजिंग रिस्क या दोन्हीचा विचार त्या ठिकाणी केला जातो. ओके. त्याच्यानंतर फेक्झिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट्स मध्ये स्टेटमेंट ऑफ द प्रॉब्लेम असेल किंवा डिटेल्स फाइंडिंग, समरी ऑफ फाइंडिंग, रिकमेंडेशन्स असेल, रिकमेंडेशन कन्क्लुजन असेल, ह्या गोष्टी महत्वाच्या. त्याच्यानंतर महत्वाचं म्हणजे फॅक्ट फाइंडिंग जे आहे तर फॅक्ट फाइंडिंग मध्ये इंटरव्ह्यूज, क्वेश्चनरीज, रिपोर्ट रिव्ह्यूज असेल, ऑन द ऑब्झर्वेशन्स असेल. नेक्स्ट मॉडर्न मेथड्स फॉर डिटरमाइनिंग सिम्बॉल रिक्वायरमेंट्स, ह्या गोष्टी फॅक्ट फाइंडिंग मध्ये इन्क्लूड आहे आणि त्या महत्वाच्या आहे. त्याच्यानंतर स्ट्रक्चर सिस्टीम रिक्वायरमेंट म्हणजे फंक्शन डिकॉम्पिशन्स डायग्राम्स असेल, त्याच्यामध्ये डेटा फ्लो डायग्राम, डेटा डिक्शनरी, ह्या कन्सेप्ट ज्या आहे किंवा त्यातले जे घटक आहे किंवा डेटा टेबल्स असेल, ट्रीज असेल, यूज केस डायग्राम्स असेल, या गोष्टी इम्पॉर्टन्स. ओके, आपण इथे स्टॉप करूया. नेक्स्ट पिरियडला आपण 10 टॉपिक जो आहे डेव्हलपमेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन सिस्टीम, सेकंड सिस्टीम डिझाईनिंग, हा टॉपिक आपण त्या ठिकाणी पाहणार आहोत. ओके, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.